Rant at the Movies, a podcast where we rant about films you may have seen at house parties. I'm one of your hosts and jack of all trades, Mono, and she's base jumped off every building in Galway. It's my co-host and master of none, Ciara.
Well, that'll take about 2 seconds.
Well, if I said you base jumped off every building tall enough in Galway, it would take...
Is there?
No. No, there's not, because I went and I looked it up and I was surprised.
Church spire is the only thing I can think of that would be in any way tall enough. But like, there's...
That is the tallest... Well, it's reckoned to be the tallest building in Galway. I couldn't find exactly what it was, but I did find a list of the tallest buildings in Ireland. And while the...
Ben Bulben would be a good one to go off of because of the way the sides of it are quite straight.
Well, that's not a building or in Ireland.
No, it's...
But...
in Sligo.
Oh, Ben Bulben, sorry.
Yeah.
No, but apparently you only need... the minimum height for a base jump is quite low. It's 60 metres.
Oh, okay. Is there anything here higher
Which
than
means there's 3 buildings in Ireland you could base jump off of.
do it
And
off the
one that's
spire?
just... No.
Ah.
No, Spire's only like 35 metres or something.
Ah, right.
There's 3 buildings tall enough to base jump off. One in Dublin, one in Belfast, one in Cork. And the 4th tallest building is in Limerick, and it's just shy of 60 metres. It's 57.5, but 60 metres is the minimum height for a base jump. But there's nothing tall enough in Galway. But immediate tangent there.
No, I just thought it was so weird because she does say, I base jumped off every building in Galway, and it's like, Galway's flat.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Like, we don't have big, like, metropolises, like when you imagine a city. We're very, like, old world, okay? Everything's low.
There are many buildings you could jump off of in Galway. There are no buildings you can base jump off of in Galway.
Yeah, like...
She does mention climbing a spire in the cathedral. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, you can climb stuff all you want. You ain't base jumping off shit in Galway, though. But
it's nearly 19 stories. I just wanted to give myself like some sort of reference.
What? 60 metres?
In like floor stories. So it's like 18.8, 19.
200 foot for our imperial friends.
Yeah.
But so today we are going for our second hat-trick directors.
Yes.
But we've gone back to our roots for this one. Digging deep. We did the first Neil Marshall films way back when.
Yeah, well, in fairness, Dog Soldiers is a masterpiece. Go watch it.
Dog Soldiers was our 7th episode, and then we did his 3rd film, skipping this one.
I have a love-hate relationship with this film.
You do, yeah. I just don't watch it enough, apparently.
Because it scares the fucking absolute bollocks out of me, and then you have to put up with me having like lights on and being accompanied to the bathroom when it's dark.
But I don't know, I think I thought it was a lot less good than it. I still thought it was good, but when I rewatched it, I was like, oh, this is way better than I remember.
Yeah.
Like, this is way better than I remember.
Yeah. I actually sat the whole way through this for the first time. Like, normally I'm like, no, I don't do suspense horror or like that kind of like, I'll watch Alien and all that. I love that. I've learned to get over my fear of it. And I've kind of done that with this as well. It helps that between my first watching of this and then this watching, which are about 15, 16 years apart.
Yeah, well, this is from 2005, and we would have watched it not long after. I don't think I watched it in the cinema, but I remember being like, oh, I want to watch that when it comes out because that's from the Dog Soldiers.
Yeah, right? I think we got it out of Extravision. I actually went caving twice in big, deep, dark, scary caves and had to squeeze through little tiny holes.
Yeah.
So that helped a bit. Not so much with the shit's gonna eat me, because I still had shit's gonna eat me while I was down in the cave, because wetas are terrifying.
They don't eat people, though.
No, but I don't want it near me when I'm in a little tiny crawl space that I have to like army crawl through.
Yeah.
Not something I want to come up in my headlamp. No, but this viewing was a lot better. I wasn't quite so terrified.
Yes, but this is, of course, The Descent, aka Chicks with Picks. AKA misadventures in caving, because fuck me, do they make some bad decisions.
Yeah.
Rappelling in with no gloves.
Oh, why are you not wearing gloves? Protect your hands. No, just in general, protect your fucking hands.
Yeah.
Like, you need them. You don't realise how much you need them until you can't use them. And caves, it's slippery.
Yeah.
It's sharp and quite jagged.
Yeah,
like,
they should have gloves.
I cut the shit out of my foot stumbling over a rock wearing flip-flops.
I mean, there are many bad decisions.
Yeah.
But the one that got me is sending Ciara last through the crawly hole.
No, you're team leader, you go last, you make sure everybody's through.
Yeah, the guide goes last.
It doesn't matter what you're doing, if you're the person responsible for that group of people in that activity, you always go last.
Yeah.
That's just basic team leadership 101.
You certainly don't send your emotionally traumatized person last.
No, she probably should have gone through second.
Yeah. Yeah, and you don't send the person who is up for a challenge first.
No, because
they're going to find the most awkward bastard way to get through, and the inexperienced people are going to be like, I can't fucking do this.
Yeah, you send somebody who's experienced and seasoned who can work to the lowest ability. You always go for lowest common denominator with a group. You go, right, like, who are you?
Oh, God, yeah, you walk at the slowest, the pace of the slowest person. Yeah. Like, that's just,
or in the case of that really badly flooded cave that we were in, me being the smallest and lightest person.
Yeah.
Who almost got swept away twice, which was quite scary.
Yes.
I was stuck in the middle and attached to a guide.
Yeah. So that you didn't float away.
Yeah, because they literally had to drag me across a river at one point because I couldn't get my footing.
I know, I was there.
It was not fun.
I helped.
Yeah.
But no, I have to say, when we went back and watched this, I was, not that I wasn't looking forward to it, I just, for whatever reason, I was like, I don't remember this being as fun as his other films.
I think that was my problem. But
it's a completely different ballpark.
Yeah, no, that was when I went into this film originally, had seen Dog Soldiers, adored Dog Soldiers, like, is literally still to this day one of my all-time favourite movies. And one of the things I love about it is the dark humour and the ribbing and the camaraderie between the lads.
Yeah.
On top of it being a really, really good monster film.
Oh, gotcha.
Fantastic monster film. And this is the same. But it's it's not the banter.
No.
Because it's a group of women, they do talk about, they are a little bit more logical. Because they don't beat around the bush and make like stupid jokes at each other. They go straight for, why aren't we here? What's going on?
Yeah, it's more...
Who's doing that? Like, they do have the jokes at the start.
Yeah.
But it's not the same way like the soldiers are trying to keep up and a happy, cheery. It's a lot more serious.
Yeah, well, the soldiers are used to...
straight horror.
And the soldiers are used to dealing with life and death situations.
Yeah, so
there's that gallows humour there. Whereas for these guys...
I always love the bit when they get to the house in Dog Soldiers and he tells them to go put a brew on.
Yeah.
To normalise everything.
Yeah. Whereas this, it's a completely new situation for all of them. So they reacting differently. But yeah, the banter's not there. They're more pragmatic and they're certainly more open about their feelings. And that was something that I had kind of seen in the trivia and in the director's commentary, was Neil Marshall saying that
he went and like consulted with like female
talked with all
friends, people in the profession.
And that was one of the things we had negative to say about Dog Soldiers, was that the sole female character is not written great at all.
It's that time of the month.
But this, they're much more believable.
Yeah. And what I like as well is you were saying you didn't kind of understand why Ciara like leaves Juno, and it's like, you have no idea how petty and scornful a woman can be. It's just one more nail in that pile, that list of shit she's got going on.
We'll get onto that because that's the very ending. So I don't.
There is very
we haven't even done we haven't done a summary yet.
No, there is very much though the woman scorned.
I'll save it for the end. I'll save it for the end, and I'm going to start a summary. A year after a tragic accident that kills her husband and daughter, Ciara goes on a caving trip with 5 friends to try and start healing. But when her best friend and guide Juno takes them into an unexplored system and a cave-in traps them, it looks like things can't get any worse. With tensions frayed and no outside help possible, the girls try to find a way out and realise they might not be alone in the dark.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. But it's hella fun. And
being trapped in a cave is bad enough. Like, that is, like, I don't think there's very few people alive that can say that being trapped in the dark underground is not a big fear for them.
Yeah, and even Neil Marshall said that. He was like, I didn't realise how many people had claustrophobia until I started showing this film to people. Yeah,
because that is, like, you get those moments. We went to one of the best gigs of my life, which was in an underground car park.
Yeah.
And you had to go down about 4 or 5 flights of stairs to get to it. And it was a big basement. It was amazing. It was children at the bottom. It was fantastic. But there was moments where you were like, there's a lot of people in here. I know I'm underground, but like...
This lesbian bar has no fire exits.
Yeah, basically, you kind of had that moment of, if anything goes wrong, we have to get back out those stairs.
Well, that's what we thought until the end, when we realised that there were fire exit doors that opened out on street level on a much lower street on the other side.
Yeah, because that whole city is built on fucking mountains. But there was that moment of like... I'm underground.
And I think that might have been what turned me off. I think the first time I watched this, I was like, where are the monsters? It takes ages to get to the monsters.
And it's a short film.
And it does take, it's an hour and 35, and it takes 50 odd minutes before you see your first proper monster. But the tension that they build up in the cave before there's any monsters is just amazing.
Yeah.
I think
like,
that's what I
shit's
didn't
already
appreciate.
going so wrong.
That's what I didn't appreciate on the first watch was because I was waiting for the monsters, this time around when we were watching it, I was like, yeah, it's 20 minutes before they get into the cave. They're in the cave about 10 or 15 minutes. There's one or two hints that maybe something is amiss. Then there's the cave in. They realise they're not in the right cave system. And for another 15 or 20 minutes before the monsters show up, that's so fucking tense, all that stuff. And then realising they're fucked,
not
trying
only
to find
are
a way
they
out.
stuck, she hasn't filed with like the local thing to say that they're missing. She hasn't done it, like they call it a flight plan.
Yeah.
So nobody knows where they are.
Yeah, and I mean...
Nobody's coming for
that
them.
That really is... They call it rule number 1. Make a plan and stick to it.
Yeah.
And it really, really is. And even if she wanted it to be a surprise, if Juno wanted it to be a surprise...
You still do your due diligence for everybody's safety.
File a fight plan that nobody else knows about. Like, your one file's the one for Barham Caves, and that's why she's like, they think we're in Barham Caves, so that's where they're going to go look for us.
Yeah.
But Juno should have been like, gone off and secretly followed them.
Yeah.
And said, oh, look, there's one in for us, but I'm doing a surprise and we're actually going to this cave system.
There's not a satellite phone in sight.
That's another good point.
No, in fairness, we went off to, when we went caving, we went to 2 caves, and one that we went into, we did have to do we did safety briefings for both of them.
Yeah.
But one of them, because of the location being a little bit more remote, like we had to walk into it.
Yeah.
We had to go through a sat phone safety thing of if anything goes wrong and you can get out.
Well, there was 2.
Yeah.
The guy brought one
into the cave with
and then there was another one which he left outside, and he was like, if anything happens and I'm the one who gets hurt.
Yeah, you get out.
And you don't have this sat phone.
Dial in.
You go back up to this sat phone.
And went through the whole thing of they know we should be out of this cave at this time.
Mm.
So like if anything goes wrong and the phone call doesn't come through, we know that they're going to come. We should be out here by now. If we're 15 minutes late to call in, because they called in going in and they called in coming out, if they don't get that call, they come straight out.
Mm. That's different because that was a tourist thing. But yeah, these guys don't even have a sat phone.
Yeah.
But I think they're the little things that annoy me. It's not so much that she takes them to an unexplored cave, because I can understand why she does that.
The safety protocols.
It's the no gloves. It's the sending your not least experienced but most vulnerable member last when you go through a tunnel.
Yeah.
It's letting Holly be the one to run ahead and be the pathfinder when she's the
adrenaline
risk,
junkie.
but the risk taker of the group. Like these are not the choices of an experienced caver.
No, they're not.
And I am not an experienced caver by any means. I've only done 2-3 caving things and they've all been touristy stuff.
Yeah.
And even I know that shit. I know this shit just from going on hikes up mountains.
Yeah, like you were in the Scouts here, so like a lot of that, like the safety protocols and things like that. And I used to work for various like Gueltocs and stuff like that. But I was still like, if you're in any way in charge of a group of people, even in a casual setting, you still have responsibilities.
Yeah, but enough of Juno's stupid mistakes, because we were talking about the tension and the claustrophobia.
Yeah.
It's just, that's one of the things that I really, really appreciate about this film. From pretty much the second they go into the cave and start going into the tighter tunnels, it's shot so beautifully as well.
Well, they built all the sets. Because it just logistically you couldn't, and caves, especially wet caves, are incredibly fragile ecosystems. So having large volumes of people down there, not a good idea.
But the thing is, you wouldn't know.
No, it's
like
stunning.
it all looks like real caves.
Yeah,
to me anyway.
It
you know
sounds
what I mean?
like real cave. It's got like this sandy. That was the one thing when they were crawling through the tunnel, because we went through that tunnel that was very similar, and that kind of sandy bottom on it as well. Yeah,
apparently most of the rock climbing stuff in it is a good bit better than your average Hollywood film.
Cliffhanger.
But
they put some effort. They did actually genuinely put some effort in, and it's nice as well as because it wasn't like a big Hollywood blockbuster. It's not all inexplicably tiny climbing like what Karen Gillan's wearing in Jumanji type shit.
Oh yeah,
like Lara crafting it around the place.
Yeah.
No, they all end up in short sleeves later on.
But it's just short sleeves.
Yeah, but they're all in like actual sensible like pants. And stuff.
And that was one of the things in the trivia was apparently a Pate executive came up to Neil Marshall and was like, "Hey, wouldn't it be a great idea if the girls all like stripped off and swam naked in the pool in the cave?" And Neil Marshall was like, "If that's the film you want to make, go and get somebody else."
Who in their right mind?
I mean,
expose their nether regions to an unknown body of water.
That's not, like, you go skinny dipping in, like...
a tropical lagoon.
Yeah, not in a fucking cave pool.
Unless it's, like, volcanic and it's bubbling.
Yeah.
Like, and even then, I ain't getting in it because it could be hot enough to roast a pig.
Yeah, it just... Yeah, no, that I'm glad there was nothing like that in it. And
it doesn't need it.
No, and it's...
Juno's a bit like booby-ish, but like that's about it.
Yeah, no, I know
she's
there's
very
nothing...
much the I'm Lara Crofty character.
Yeah, but I don't think there's anything in this. There's no attempts to make anything...
No, it doesn't need it.
Sexual at all. And it doesn't need it.
It's a group of women who head off and then everything goes wrong.
Yeah. But just as to the beautiful, like, camera work and editing in it, I love the choice that they made to just use, well, not just use, but mostly use the lights that the girls had, the flashlights, the flares, the glow sticks, even to the point where when they're using other lighting sources, they've still done it in such a way that you don't really notice, and it could kind of seem it's still like the ambient light, the lights the girls are using. So the whole time you do feel like you're in the cave with them. And
everything glistens. Like you can see the mineral in the rock glisten. You can see where it's wet and where there's like, well, you don't see that body of ook until they fall into it because it's so still that you think it's ground until you find out it's not. And
the use of the infrared then in the second half of the film, it's used sparingly but to great effect.
Except with the exception of the headlamps, all the lighting is either red tinted because it's flares or torches, which give a warm, or the green. Yeah. And then you have like the green glow sticks.
Yeah, whereas the when she's using the infrared in the camera, it is that bit more kind of starker and colder. Yeah. But it's a, I don't know, beautiful's not the right...
There are some shots in it that are stunning.
Oh yeah, when they're dropping into the cave, when they're rappelling in at the start.
With that shot, but the chasm, and they throw the flare across, and it's lit from both sides.
Yeah, there are some beautiful shots in it. I wouldn't call it like a beautiful film, but they have used, the visuals that they do use are just add to it so much.
That are just, I really like when she's lying up on the rock and the crawler comes and stands. He's like standing on her. There's something about
it's a great shot, but the crawler should sense that he's not standing on the rock.
Yeah, this rock is
he's got a bare foot on somebody's head with hair. He's gonna know.
Yeah, but that shot in and of itself.
It's beautiful, and the crawlers look fantastic.
Well, that first one where they whip around with the camera and see it is the first time that they saw. Yeah, and that is them all screaming
and running.
They left in because I would too. In fairness, I always liked that kind of decomposing human-esque type. The vampires that are feeding on themselves in Daybreaker get it a bit.
Humanoid creatures tend to be scarier than non-humanoid creatures, I find.
It's because it's recognisable.
And it's enough different that it's confusing and it's other, and that's what makes it. Yeah. But as opposed to, like, that's scarier than, like, I don't know, getting hunted by, like, some kind of monster. Yeah. You know what I mean? And not a vampire or
also, there's the implication that anything that is humanoid is as intelligent as we are.
Or has the capacity for.
Yeah.
And
which is infinitely more scary because you're like, oh shit, if they're capable of logistical thinking the way we are, and they know this terrain better than we do. Because they have a couple of moments where they're like, it's circling us. You get the moment at the end where it's almost like the wolf pack hunting, where there's one and then there's three that you see because they show you so that you don't see the one coming up behind you.
Yeah, no, and I love the animalistic behaviour of them as well, particularly when they
fighting
first
over a holly.
Fighting over a holly's corpse. That one crawler screaming and swiping, it is very much an animal just trying to get its kill.
Yeah, like it's sniping at the other ones. It's snapping at them to get them to let go so it can get it.
But it's not like other monsters where they'll just kill somebody and then move on to try and get the next kill. They killed Holly because they want to eat her, and now they've killed her, they want to take her off to eat her, and this other person is stopping them from doing that. They're not a target anymore. They're just an obstacle between them and their food. And
it's like watching, when a crow gets something good and all the other crows. Yeah, it's very much that.
No, I do. I like that animalistic thing of them. And the way that they're shot as well. He shot them in, like, was it 12 frame or 18 frames a second or something like that to give them a weird...
slow them at like it was a 16 frames at like a reduced shutter speed so that they would move kind of staccato-y.
And as with every good horror monster movie...
It's done in camera!
Well, no, not just that it's done in camera, but they are used sparingly. Yeah. You don't see an awful lot of them. You get a couple of full-on shots, but a lot of the other stuff, it is just, not jump scares, but quick shots of them and blurry shots of fights and stuff like.
Well, until kind of Sam is like they're like, oh, because she's trying to be a doctor, and they're like, oh, let's show us what it is.
I like that bit.
They actually look at it.
When they're looking at it. But even then, it's close-up shots of, like, its eyes and stuff when she's talking about the fact that they're blind. It's not just laying it out on a table or anything to completely reveal or ruin the mystery. Like,
no, well, it has been fairly mashed.
Yes, it has. And there is some nice gore in this as well. There is some very, very nice gore in this. But again, it's not overused.
No, and the moments... Well, like the car crash at the start, it just comes out of fucking nowhere.
Fuck me. Yeah, that car crash, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, because it opens with the three main, who are Beth,
Juno and Sarah on a whitewater rafting thing.
The good girls actually did that. Big round of applause to them.
Yeah.
Because that did not look fun. I've never been... whitewater rafting? No, thank you. Blackwater rafting? Yes, I have done. Well, oddly enough.
Well, we've done whitewater rafting.
No, we didn't.
I know I've done whitewater rafting.
Yeah, I went blackwater rafting, which, I decided to just do the insane thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll skip the easy version. And you get the husband and the kid, and there's the weird relationship thing going on there where the husband and Juno seem to be a little bit too friendly.
Well, there's a very obvious longing look between the two of them. And then
it looks like there's going to be an argument in the car.
In the car, yeah, because he's all distracted.
Across the lane, and then we have our final destination moment, which,
It's very sudden. Neil Marshall is particularly good at those moments of just sudden, unexpected.
Yeah.
The cow. Poor Brucey in Dog Soldiers. There's a couple of moments in Doomsday as well that are like that. And in this, then obviously the bit with Beth is another moment like that.
Poor Beth.
But he's good at those unexpected, sudden, not usually violence, but
linger on them too much.
No, you don't. It tends
like
to linger on the aftermath.
It's the shot of everything through the car and the quiet, and then the pan out of the car.
Yeah, and you see...
And then it goes straight to her dream in the hospital.
Mm.
So Sarah's like, right, she's lost her husband and her kid. She's not in a happy...
I forgot that the kid died as well,
Yeah, the kid dies too. At least you don't see... You kind of... It's like, right, it's through the husband, but they continue through the sea, and... That's the implication. I thought that she just died in the crash, but the child also got impaled, apparently. Hooray! Yeah, it's bleak. Yeah. It is Doomsday starts with like a mother and a child running for their life, and the mom dies and she loses the eye. And Dog Soldier starts with those two campers getting ripped apart. Yeah, well, that's Sol, and he's in this as well. Yeah, no, there are a couple of comparisons at the very end as well. With the way they play with the light. We have the UK ending. There was two endings to this film. The US one fakes out because apparently audiences thought it was like unbelievably fucking bleak. Yeah, and I'm like, look, one person surviving out of 6 versus no people surviving out of 6 isn't that much of a difference. I quite like the ending of it. We have the UK ending, which is the one where nobody gets out. Yeah, everybody dies. Everybody dies, but I kind of, there's an acceptance at the ending of it that I quite like in her. And maybe we'll talk about that at the very end. We can do a little bit more explicitly spoiler stuff. But no, I think that the ending was the right choice to have. Like, yeah, and they'd already had one person walks away and nobody believed them at Dog Soldiers, because it's the whole thing about the newspaper. Like England wins, and then at bottom it's like werewolves ate my platoon in the newspaper. Yeah, and ending on the photograph. But yeah, there's a couple of things that are not similar, but just nods to Dog Soldiers. Like, you know what I mean? Well, there's a big old werewolf head in a pile of bones. That's the biggest nod to Dog Soldiers. But even the characters actually aren't. I didn't warm to him as much on the first watch, but on the second watch I did get a bit more out Holly, of them. You gotta give a moment to the awful wig that they stuck her in. poor Holly's hair. Holly's hair, it's so fuzzy. It's very 90s, like teen boy fluff. She is a bit annoying. She's a bit annoying, but she's supposed to be. She's the one that doesn't really know them, because it's a whole group. They're like friends. You've got the three main ones. Sarah and Beth are the closest by the looks of things. Yeah. Juno obviously had been having it off with her husband. Yeah. And then their sisters. Rebecca and Sam. Yeah, and one of them's going to be a doctor, which is important. Which is Sam. And then you've got Holly, who's just a mate of Juno. Yeah, they're like, she's Juno's protege. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And she's a bit of a nut job. So she's come along with them for the ride. And she's the one giving out. There's a moment when she's out on the balcony and she gives out about the cave they're supposed to be going to. Oh, she's calling it a tourist trap. And says you may as well have handrails. Yeah, and I think that's where I'm like, oh, you're one of those kind of people. Yeah. Nothing I do is extreme. I'd be like, if I haven't been out, like, you're taking your fucking mate who's lost her kid and her husband. Yeah. maybe going to the touristy place is the best idea, because if she decides she's done, she can just leave.
Well, there's Juno and Holly definitely quite experienced.
Yeah.
Rebecca also seems to be experienced because she's the one who's talking about having filed a fight plan for Barn Caves, and she's the one who notices that there's something wrong.
I think they've climbed it, or at least gone caving together before. Like they know each other.
Sarah, I think, has some experience. Beth refers to herself as just being a school teacher, so she's got minimal experience. So there's at least 3 experienced cavers / climbers down there. And yeah, it's just the way Holly's talking about it. It's like, no, you, like, if you want to do that, you go off on your own and do that. You don't take newbies into fucking, like, hardcore caves. And you definitely don't
lie about them about it.
And then, you definitely don't lie about it. But what I do like about it is that you get some of the characterization from them just through their actions and throughout it. You don't find an awful lot about their background, but it's how they're dealing with the events as they're unfolding.
Yeah, there's a lot of glancing and moving away from people. You can tell by the way they cluster together, or who they're looking for in particular when they get separated, who calls for who. Or
who doesn't respond when others are calling for them.
Yeah.
Like, when it starts to fall apart with all the monsters, I like then that you get them kind of splinting off and being like, no, this is who we really are and this is what we're about.
Yup. And Juno's a questionable character.
Yeah, so Juno is absolutely the human villain of the story.
Oh, she's
but does she, now spoilers, well, not really, we've said nearly everybody dies. Does she deserve to die? But does she deserve to be effectively killed by her best friend?
Yeah, well, she's been hobbled.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, like she's cheated on her best friend with her husband. Yeah. That's bad. She
ghosted her for a year.
Yeah, ghosted her for a year. Then
brought her to a cave system that nobody knows about, didn't tell anybody where they were going, and has essentially gotten all the rest of the group killed.
What?
Left her friend to die.
Yeah.
Lied to her face about it when given an opportunity. From Thingy's perspective as well, everybody who's been... Because when they split off, Sarah's on her own, and Juno's with everybody else.
Yeah.
And the first time she finds Juno, Sam's hanging dead from the ceiling.
Well, it's not so much that I don't think Juno doesn't deserve to die. It's just like, I feel that if Sarah's supposed to be our hero, it makes it harder to sympathise with her when she kills her. Yeah. If she just walked away from her if it was like she injured herself.
Yeah.
Like Juno injured herself in the fight, and then she went, no, I'm not taking you. And, but it's the fact that she's the one who injures her. I'm like, it removes that little bit of sympathy, especially because you have you have Sarah killing the child crawler a few minutes previous.
And the parent.
And the mother crawler, being distraught over that. And it's like, I know they're supposed to be monsters, but she's just done to that what happened to her. Yeah. And I'm just like, I don't really like Sarah anymore. And you're the only one who's potentially going to survive. You're our main character.
Yeah. But Sarah's also spent the whole thing, like, she keeps wandering off. She keeps looking down holes. She's the one who thinks she sees something first. So there's also as she finally just snapped.
That's the other reading of this film, is that there are no monsters.
And that it's just she snapped and has killed them all.
And she snapped and has killed them all. In which case, her doing that to Juno makes absolute sense. But I don't know that I ascribed. I appreciate it being there, that you could view it as her just having gone crazy.
She's had a complete breakdown.
And especially because, like you said, she has been wandering off and looking in random corners earlier. And it gets
more pronounced once the cave-in happens. And they're stuck there.
And you do have that earlier setup of...
that was that cave in the final thing, and she's just lost it.
And you have, when they're on their hike to the cave, Juno's talking about the things that could go wrong. She's like, this is dark like you've never experienced before. You can have hallucinations, you can get paranoid and delusional, you can see things, you can hear things that aren't there.
You become dehydrated extremely quickly.
Yeah, is that what's really happening? And it's fine, I like that being there, it's cool that you can take that reading, but I prefer the just straight up, it's monsters.
It's just monsters. There was a lot of people who were discussing the cave paintings that they come across halfway through.
Yeah, they're just cave paintings.
And everyone's like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, and it's the monsters in that, but how do they do that? I was
how
like,
do the monsters make the cave paintings when they're blind? They didn't.
Cave paintings means there's an exit.
Yeah. Yeah,
somebody got in here and made this, and they didn't come across that fucking chasm, so there's an exit. So it gives them that moment of hope, which then leads to Holly's hubris.
I don't think the cave painting was supposed to have been implied at all to have been made by the cave dwellers at any point.
No, I took it as meaning...
by the crawlers.
Monsters, because I literally just took that as being, there's an exit. you know for certain there's an exit. Now you just have to find it.
Yeah, you'd seen the evidence of old miners or whoever having gone down there because they found the old gear.
Yeah.
But you don't know those people made it out. These cave painting people did.
Yeah, they used the cave, so it just means it's an exit, and Holly takes off.
Yeah, I didn't take that as...
It goes horribly wrong for Holly.
Yeah, I mean, Holly shouldn't have run.
No.
But that's...
No, in fairness, as someone with lacking a lot of balance, I can't even run down a flat road without tripping up, like, let alone somewhere that is a cave system.
Yeah,
and a wet cave system at that. It's going to be slick. There's going to be holes below your feet that are just there.
Yeah, it was foolish to start running.
Yeah.
And that's before they even see the monsters.
Yeah.
Once they see the monsters, I can understand the running.
Oh, that's a nasty leg break, though.
Oh, yeah.
That is when they're trying to put it back because you have to pull her leg.
Yeah. And then push the bone back in.
Yeah, because it's come out, it's a proper through the skin jaw. And she's lying in real muddy water, and you're like, that's so badly infected. That's so badly infected already, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, no, and at least they go for having her being the first one taken out.
Yeah.
Because it's been so long since I watched this, I remembered very little of the order and things that happen and stuff.
She kind of brought it like, she shouldn't have run.
But I had it in my head that they had to like drag her around for ages and she's slowing them down. But no, she gets taken out pretty much straight away.
Well, at least she goes quickly because that clunk is the way she comes off the back and hits the back of her head. She's out.
Yeah, not like poor Rebecca later on getting her stomach
no.
while she's still alive.
Nummy. Sausages.
Yeah, and again, some of those scenes are just...
when they're like, trying to glue Sarge's intestines back together.
Yeah.
Hit me!
No, but some of the scenes of the gore in it are just very like visceral.
Yeah.
And
that big old lake of ooky shit with like bits floating in it, and you know it's not water because it's got a viscosity higher that like it does not run off you like water does.
And because the violence
and there's carcasses floating in it, and oh god, the smell.
The violence in Dog Soldiers is so much more comedic a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, it's a lot slower, it's a lot dirtier, and like...
It is very much fighting for your life the way that they're grasping and scrabbling and kicking and biting, and apparently as long as it's a humanoid male, you can hit it in the nuts and run away.
Yeah, there's a couple of nut shots.
That's not a nut shot. She's on her hands and knees driving that knee.
Now, it was one of the things that I realised when I was watching it, and I was like, it's just me being me. I kind of feel like you'd be okay in a crawler against them if it was just one-on-one.
Yeah, you might be alright.
If you just fight them like you're fighting another human, you'll be okay.
It's the biting and the grasping.
Because they're very
claws.
They do have claws, but they're very swipey and grabby because they're blind, so they don't know what they're doing. But there's a couple of times where there's like straight punches or straight elbows to the head, and they are very effective against the crawlers. That if you just tried to fight them like a kickboxer or a martial artist or just a dirty street fighter, you'd probably come out okay.
Yeah, but you can avoid the claws. The
yeah, no, that's the thing. They have that extra dimension to fight with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think one-on-one, a few solid blows and you'd actually be okay because they do take them out, especially towards the end when she's just she gets a good hold on one and she's just bashing his head off, dude.
Yeah, well, one gets its neck snapped, one gets a flare in the mouth.
Yeah, I don't know. It is fun. It's just when you see those elbows and punches to the head that are just how you'd fight another human, and you see how effective they are. I'm just like, guys, just keep doing that.
Yeah,
fight like they're people.
Yeah, they seem to be weak and fragile,
but
they're at least mushy.
Yeah, they're not.
They're quite squelchy, and I don't like that. And the eyeballs are always a good
they're effectively human. Neil Marshall has said that they are supposed to have been
like some weird
cavemen who just decided to stay underground and kind of evolved.
They're a layer above the mole people.
Yeah. But yeah, it just that cracked me up when you see there's just one or two punches that are so effective.
The bone to the back of the head.
Oh yeah,
that's a nice shot.
When Ciara goes on her
that's
kind of rampage.
That's the equivalent to Thingy hitting one of the werewolves with the frying pan.
I find it more like...
Not to give an equivalence, but I do enjoy a good blunt object to the back of the head with a big haymaker swing.
We do keep making comparisons to Dog Soldiers, but this time I think it's more like Jim in 28 Days Later. going psycho at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Ciara going, not psycho, but Ciara making her way through, and she snaps, and she's just like, right, I have to just kill to survive.
Her brain is completely clicked over. There's no expression in the face. It's just this manic. It's all in the eyes with Ciara, because every time you see Ciara, it's completely deadpan. Now she's covered in gank.
Oh, yeah, to the point where
like,
her
and it's
Juno,
just like eyes flicking and then dead stare at Juno.
But yeah, when she meets back up with Juno immediately is like,
What happened
to you? Assuming it's way worse than what's happened to her.
Yeah.
And she's kind of right, but like you see it.
Well, Juno's clean at this point because she's been for a swim.
Well, yeah, Juno's had a dip.
Well, so is Ciara, but not in the same place.
No, in a rather different pool. But I think it's probably about time we say highlights and lowlights.
Highlights are definitely the stages, the sets.
I think
the environment.
The sets and the atmosphere.
Yeah.
The atmosphere in this is untouchable. It's so tense. It's so claustrophobic. It's so fearful.
But there's that amazing moment when they come out, they have to cross a chasm on the roof, and that I do enjoy that sequence.
Oh, when they're making the line across.
Yeah.
Yes, that's amazing.
And they drop a kick or a stone down and it falls right and you hear a faint. But the way they have a flare on either side of this tiny tunnel that they're stood in. Well, it's not tiny, but it's small in scale.
Yeah.
And then this big, almost like vault that you can just see the shadows of into the background.
Yeah.
That it's like, oh no.
No, and I will say those moments were way better than I remember them being. Because I remembered when do we get to the monsters?
Ciara out of the tiny gap when she gets stuck. So you have a moment, because they've come through this moment of being in like really squeezy, tight peril.
Yeah.
And I've gone through one of those holes and they told us that if we get stuck, they have to break our collarbone. They would have to break your collarbone and dislocate your shoulder to get you through it. And I was like, they were like, but we'll get you medical attention. I was like, yeah, damn straight you will. Like, they wouldn't do it. They would like, obviously we'd wait until medic arrived to do that. They don't have that option.
Yeah, but from that cave-in point to the point where they first meet the monsters, all that stuff is so good and so tense that it's nearly strong enough to carry the whole film just on that premise. If they didn't introduce the monsters of just these girls trying to get out of the cave.
Yeah, and keep finding things like they find the Eddie helmet. Well, it says Oswald.
Yeah,
but it's Eddie. Like they find the helmet, they have the old climbing gear, they find the marks later on, they've got the cave paintings, but then they've also got all these animal bones going on. So like you could have even just had them not encounter the monsters and just try and get out.
Even if there was no monsters at all, and it's just about them trying to get out. Because at that point in the film, you still haven't had the information about Juno having the affair come out, so that could still be, and the group's tensions could frame more, and they could try and find separate ways out.
Yeah, like you could have had a massive blow up in the middle of the cave.
Yeah, it's just
like that.
It's just a disaster film, and it would work on, not a disaster film, but you know what I mean, like it's just one of those films, and that's all there is to it. There's just the drama and the peril, and there's no like supernatural, and it would work because that section in the middle is strong enough to make it work as that. And then they introduce the monsters on top of it, and it gets even more tense and scary.
I like because it's up the pace, because now they're running, like whereas beforehand they've been kind of making their way through a bit cautiously. They were taking their time doing stuff. Like Holly takes off running, and that's their downfall. And from the point of Holly starting to run and her falling, they keep running.
Yeah.
So like it starts with excitement, and then it becomes it does get very slow, but it's very methodical. It's very, very careful. And then it just becomes complete, fuck that shit, run!
Yeah, the pacing and... nah. But yeah, the pacing and the narrative work really well together, because you've got your intro of, say, 20 minutes or so where you meet your characters and find out what they're doing, and horrible crash stuff at the start. And at like 20 minutes, they're at the entrance to the cave. 15 minutes later is when the cave-in happens and they realise that they're in the wrong cave. And you've got just kind of them exploring the cave, realising something maybe is wrong, then...
Well, the cave, that's where the cave painting is important as well, because the cave painting shows two entrances. Because they're like, there's the mountain, there's the river, there's two entrances.
After the cave-in, then you've got another 15-20 minutes of real tense, just them trying to find their way out. They find the cave painting, and then the last half an hour or so is... They find the monsters, they all split up and go separate ways, and
that's
you follow
a fantastic piece of chaos as well, because you've got... Holly dies then. Because she's getting carried out, because that's a new level of tension, is we need to get out of here, and we need to get her out, and there's a time constraint now. There already had been one, but now there's an even greater one because you've a medical emergency. And then when there's that bit with the pan around in the camera and he's just behind them like, hey,
hello.
you've got that bit and them separating. And because at this point they're all dirty, they're all muddy, they're all wearing helmets, it gets so chaotic as well that you're trying to work out which one's which.
Who's who, what's happening.
Holly gets taken, Juno's fighting for Holly.
Yeah.
Juno stands up and puts a pick through Beth.
Yep.
And then there's that moment of that, and then everything stops.
Yeah.
For that moment of them staring at each other. And then all the chaos ramps up again.
Yeah. And yeah, then you've got your kind of separate, you've got Juno on her own, Ciara on her own, and the two girls
who are trying to, and they're huddled together, and Sarah's got the camera so she can see what's going on.
Yeah. And unfortunately, you don't really want to watch your friend getting eaten. That's Holly getting eaten, yeah. And then, she finds Beth later on.
And you've got the two sisters, one's holding the other one, and they're tucked in underneath something, and it's like the Nazgul coming sniffing. But they're just hiding together, and then they're trying to find Juno, but Juno's trying to find Sarah.
Yeah.
And then even at the end, they're like, well, the sisters are together, so they don't really give a shit. They must know Juno better than they, like, obviously Sarah's had like a traumatic year.
Yeah.
But when they're trying to get out and they find Juno, they're like, come on, fuck it. And Juno's like, I want to get Sarah. And they're like, we don't care.
They also don't care when they hear Juno calling for Sarah. They're like, shut up, don't say anything.
Yeah.
She's going to bring them
right down
on her. Like, don't call. So they're...
But also Sam, the younger sister, has fucked up her hands earlier. Yeah. Because you got to wear gloves.
Yeah, you really should be wearing gloves. Yeah. And that's why.
So she's debilitated as well that way.
Anything else that we particularly liked?
I made a point, I commented at one point during watching this, and I was like, there's not any music in it, and there was immediately music, I became aware of the music, but it's so subtle. Yeah. It's beautiful. It's just little moments that increase the tension without being obvious. It's that brilliant use of strings, and just it rises and rises ever so slowly without becoming overwhelming. It's always in the background.
Yeah, you almost don't know. You probably only noticed it then because you were looking for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so subtle that it's
the same guy who did Cabin in the Woods and stuff like that, so he's very, very good at what he does.
Yeah, it's so subtle, but it's barely there that it does help.
It just makes the hair on the back of your neck
subconsciously adds to the tension because you don't even realise that it's there.
Like, you don't actually need it because the echoing of the cave, the dripping, the noise of rock and all that is enough to create that claustrophobic feeling because you can hear the echo of it.
But yeah, no, I will say that the editing and the camera work and kind of the sound editing and the score all everything works together, gels together really well in this. Yeah. And like any of my problems with it were mostly silly character, like the why did
silly
they go
choices
caving?
They made.
Silly choices, and then the only big things I had would be more narrative.
Sarah's motivation.
Well, yeah, not Sarah's motivation, but the fact that I kind of feel a little bit like they make Sarah less sympathetic towards the end of the film.
I don't like the way Becky goes out because I felt like it was a bit of a write-off.
What, just getting pulled away out of nowhere? Yeah, because
everything else is kind of have a bit of a moment. Not like...
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Everybody else's death takes a while.
Holly's death is like a thud, but she's already injured.
Yeah.
Beth, they end up finding out she's not actually dead.
Yeah. Sam has the whole big kind of fight on the
and then
the
she's
wall with all the spinning camera angles and stuff.
That made me really
feel I thought it was cool though.
It did make me want to throw up a little bit, but it also reminded me that UK Gladiators is coming back. And they've got the track runners back in it.
Yeah, and then she just kind of gets dragged away.
Yeah, it's just like they take the ankles out from underneath her and drag her off, and I was like, but...
Yeah, they kind of... They make a bit more of an event of everybody else's death.
Yeah.
There's no...
I just felt like it was a little bit like, it was just... And Juno's just standing there watching it and runs back and then jumps into the water.
And the only other thing...
And I just felt like it was a bit like, oh.
The only other thing that I didn't...
fuck her then.
that I didn't like, actively didn't like, apart from the slightly less sympathetic Sarah at the end of the film, was also to do with Rebecca. I don't understand why she doesn't say when she finds the old cam. Because she's the one...
When she sees it immediately.
She's the one who had a feeling that something was wrong in the first place.
Yeah.
She's the one who then cops that they are in the wrong cave before Juno actually outright says it. So why does
wouldn't she say there's an old cam here or there's already a hook here or something?
Yeah, it just that's the only thing that I thought. And she does say it later, but I'm like, I feel like she should immediately say it. Unless it's just to set up the fall then that Juno has. if you know what I mean, because it's as a result of her not saying it and using the old cam that Juno falls and Sam's hands get ripped apart.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like it's weird for her to not say it straight away. Other than that, that's like the only things I don't like about this film.
Yeah.
And as I said, the Ciara stuff, if you take the viewing of it all being inside her head, then it totally tracks what she does.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I just think, I think she just snapped and was like, because the whole reason that they're fighting in the car and he's not paying attention to the road is because of her.
Yeah, and they kind of hint that maybe Ciara does have an idea throughout the film.
Yeah.
There's a few bits.
She definitely has, she's wary of her.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, for me, it's a culmination of, you inadvertently got my kids and my husband killed. You were going to destroy my family anyway.
And I mean, I'm not saying Juno doesn't...
You've brought us all here and this has all happened and you're about to get out and you've left other people to die.
Yeah, it's not that she doesn't deserve to die. Because, I mean, it's not that she deserves... Or I think she deserves to live when all the rest of them who died are fine to have died. I just think it's just the fact that it's the act of her slashing the leg, of Ciara slashing Juno's leg.
It's spiteful. She's not killing her outright.
Yeah,
it's pure spite.
I do.
You get to sit here and suffer.
Yeah, it's just, I think it makes your main character a tiny little bit less, a bit less sympathetic at the very end of the film. And I thought it was a weird choice.
I do. I understand it because it's very much woman scorned and they will do horrific things. Killing her outright, not satisfying. Leaving her there?
Yeah, but I just think that if Juno had hurt herself by accident rather than her being the one to do it, and then Sarah's like, no, I'm going to leave you here. It was a bit
more, this is for Beth because you left her there. Because she shows her the charm.
Yeah.
So it is. It's like, because she's like, oh, she left me.
Yeah.
Whereas by the time Ciara finds her, they can't really do anything for her, but they could have done something.
Yeah, potentially could have done something at the time.
Yeah. So that's the same thing. She's leaving her.
Yeah, maybe I think it would be more poetic if...
It's an eye for an eye.
Yeah, but what happened to Beth was an accident and the problem was leaving her behind. So I think it would be more poetic if what happened to Juno was an accident and Ciara chooses to leave her behind. It's just a personal thing.
Yeah.
And as I said, you can, depending on your viewing of the film,
yeah,
it's not a problem. That was one of the things I liked in the goofs. The goofs kept pointing out things in that final hallucination scene.
Oh yeah, that were like, if it's the UK ending, it's fine.
They were, so like the car was parked here in one scene.
Well, and you pointed out you could see the pull-in marks.
Yeah, but you see the car further out on the road than where it had been. But this goof can be disregarded if you watch the director's cut because that's just a hallucination and she's not actually gotten it. There's like 10 goofs that say, but it doesn't actually matter if you're watching the UK version because it's a hallucination and the goof is part of the hallucination.
I like the fact that she wakes up. I like the UK ending of the waking up back in the cave and the acceptance with the hallucination of the daughter and the birthday cake.
Yeah, I much prefer
stuff. I like that, and that it just pulls out and it's just her in the warm glow, but she has this kind of smile and there's just an acceptance of the whole situation.
Yeah, it's not, I don't like it because
there's a peacefulness, even though there's the shriek at the end, it is almost peaceful.
Yeah, I like a bleak ending. I like when everybody dies, mostly because I'm like, wait, the director had the balls to kill everybody.
Oh, that's your main problem with Man on Fire.
That's my absolute biggest problem with Man on Fire. And it's the same kind of thing because it removes any sympathy you have for the protagonist.
Yeah.
Because the little girl that caused him to go on his massive death rampage isn't even dead.
Yeah. But whereas with John Wick, you have all the sympathy because you see the dog die.
But yeah, I'm like, films where everybody dies, I'm like, yay! But that's not why I prefer this ending. I'm with you. It's a better ending.
Like, I know there is a second one, and the second one is very dependent on the US ending. I wouldn't mind actually going to watch it to see, because again, it comes back to that whole thing of like, yeah, you're going to get out and you're going to get there. Nobody's going to believe you.
Yeah.
Monsters ate my friends. Dingo ate my baby. Nobody believed her. It turns out it was fucking true for that poor woman. But nobody believes you.
Is it kind of a better ending for Ciara? Because if she gets out...
It's a better ending
if she gets out,
that's
her
what I get,
husband is dead, her daughter is...
see her kid.
Yeah, if she gets out, her husband is dead, her daughter is dead, 5 of her best friends are dead, and she's been through an incredibly traumatic experience, and now she has to just live out the rest of her life. Now, by no means am I saying at all, in case anybody just wants to try and take my words out of context, suicide, never an option. No. And if you're ever close to contemplating suicide, talk to somebody. Absolutely do.
Oh, God, yeah.
But in this specific instance, I can understand why...
See the acceptance in her.
acceptance in her. Rather than escaping...
She got so close, she failed and she's back where she started.
But now she gets to see her daughter.
Kid, yeah.
She's going to get to join her daughter and her friends and maybe she might not want to join her husband. So
but she doesn't want to live with the memory of what she's been
it's a
through.
more fitting ending. Yeah, I just didn't want anybody to think that I was possibly saying suicide is a good thing.
No. I can get it because she got so far and she was so close and then she slips and falls. And it's almost back where she started, so it is.
And I think that's why I don't see the ending as bleak, is because she's not... For me, the film doesn't end with her in a cave on her own, terrified of the death that's coming for her.
No,
the film ends with her in a cave on her own, embracing the death that's about to come for her and the fact that she can rejoin her daughter. That's how she views it, I think. And I think that's a far, far better ending than her just escaping.
All the memories are her because it says happy birthday on the cake and it's always the 5th birthday.
Yeah.
And then it's the 6th birthday and yes, it's the 6 women.
It's the 6 candles, the 6 women. But
that's what I take from it is because she does smile and she's like, I'm going to see my daughter's 6th birthday.
Yeah.
It's that, because you see that image a couple of times and it's this, like, she's stuck, she's in a limbo,
and again, I think that's maybe why I don't really like the reading that she's only gone crazy, because in this she has a better ending.
Well, somebody was like, oh, it's Thingy's, Thingy, he goes to hell to get his wife's soul.
Dante.
Yeah, bringing her back out. As long as she doesn't look behind her.
Yeah.
No, it's coming out of, it's not hell, it's the underworld.
Yeah.
And she's not allowed to look behind her.
And I mean, the whole film can be seen kind of as a metaphor for her descent into attempts to deal with her trauma. But
because she is disconnected from the group from the start.
But I'm perfectly happy with the surface reading of
monsters!
Girls Go Caving, There Are Monsters.
And I would believe there are monsters because it's in the
Appalachians.
Yeah, there be monsters. You could easily read this as Wendigo.
That was just some naked hillbillies who needed a good fucking...
Wendigo are in the Appalachians.
No, they were just some naked hillbillies who needed a good fingernail clipping. And she's fucked then when
she gets out because it's the Appalachians where you don't go into the woods. Like, if you hear somebody calling your name, you don't go look. So you're fucked either way. And they're just going to tell you to go home and forget about what you saw because there's things out in them there hills. And we ain't going to go looking for them.
No, I much prefer the ending of the director's cut, and I much prefer the surface reading of There Be Monsters.
There's monsters.
Because it's, and not that it would be a worse film if it was all in her head, I just think that they would have made it more clear and made the film slightly differently.
Neil Marshall is very good at monster movies, and this is a damn good monster movie.
It is. It's fantastic, and I kind of feel...
I do not appreciate that tour guide though, just as we were about to go into that first cave we went into that had all the real tight tunnels, being like, hey, has anyone seen The Descent?
Yeah.
I was like, no, you've just photographed her teeth, please don't do that.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But and I had
after doing all the big briefing and everything and then telling us about the Moa statue or skeleton that they found there.
Yeah.
And then being like, this doesn't look too bad, and then it gets real dark and you have to climb down a bit.
But I had forgotten a lot about how good this film is. I don't know why. I just had it in my head that it was the weakest of the three. I don't think it is. It's just a different beast entirely. And it is
Neil Marshall's humour is magnificent. The dark humour he brings into, like, there's a lot of humour in Doomsday, especially.
I think that's initially what I was missing. Was it was just when we watched it the first time, I was like, it's not what I was expecting,
and that threw us. But I wasn't expecting, because I went into it going, I'm going to have a great time. Dog Soldiers is amazing. This is going to be fucking hilarious, and then was like severely traumatized.
It's just it is. It's a different beast altogether from his other films.
It didn't put me off, but my it's the same thing I have with Alien. Like, I watched Alien when I was really, really little, and it scared the absolute living fucking daylights out of me for years. And then I watched it a while back with a friend of ours. Like, remember we all sat down and watched it, and I was disappointed because it didn't scare me as badly. But I can now watch the film and enjoy it more. Yeah. So it's kind of done that for me, because the first time I watched it scared the absolute bollocks out of me. The moment they see that thing in the camera, I was done. Yeah. I was like, not watching any more of this.
Yeah, well, see, for you, it was that side of it.
suspense.
For me, I think I fucked myself up by having expectations of this film. And then when they didn't meet those expectations, I didn't...
You were like, well, fuck it. I don't want it anyway. I'm going home.
I didn't like it as much as I should have. And then upon these rewatches where I didn't have any expectations, or I maybe had lower expectations, I was like, fuck me, this film is actually way better than I remember.
No, it's one of those films I always see popping up on like lists of movies that are like really good, like genre horror films, or like really unexpectedly good horror films.
It is an excellent example of a nice, tense, claustrophobic monster film.
Without dragging it out as well. I appreciate that. It's short. It gives you...
Oh, gotcha.
And it breaks the tension with the action, but doesn't make it dissipate entirely.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because sometimes you get into action films and they'll be tense, and then action will happen and then you're like, well, I don't believe anything anymore. Or in the case of it'll be tense, and then his eyes go cross-eyed and you laugh and then that's the end of that.
Yeah, they don't break the tension in this film ever. They just let it kind of...
It'll simmer off, like the action eases off. They get a moment to calm themselves. And you get a bit of a breather,
but it never breaks the tension.
But it always returns back to the whole, right, they calm themselves and then they're like, where the fuck are we now?
They never go all the way back down to zero.
Problems. And it being in a cave network as well always is creating new problems because you're either trying to climb out a chimney shaft or there's something on the ceiling looking at you or, shit's wet, it's dark, there's dead ends.
It's just an all-around excellent film. It really, really is. But I think that about wraps it up for 2005's The Descent.
Yes.
And the hat-trick of Neil Marshall's first 3 films.
Yeah, no, I must go find the second one just to save my own curiosity.
It's the editor from this.
Yeah.
And Neil Marshall was an executive producer on it.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious to watch it.
Given his vision of it, obviously he hadn't intended on the second one, but he was still going to give it his blessing to go ahead with the characters.
Yeah, and I think...
hey, you saw something off this ending, why don't you go and see what you can do with it?
Yeah. And as I said, the fact that he was an executive producer on it, he obviously wasn't like...
Yeah, he has given his
blessing to that. No, I want nothing to do with this.
You're not allowed to do it either.
He worked
No, he was like, I've finished my story with this, however you see a different story with it, so you...
But yeah, I would be interested in checking out the second one. I don't think it's... I think it is a bit more of a gore... thing and a bit more about like a horror where this is more tense, but I'd still be willing to give it a shot. But as for us, we will be back next week with our usual undecided.
Yeah, well, it depends what we can find because we did want to do a movie, but it turns out it's incredibly difficult to find anywhere.
We had our usual fucking thing of, we'll do this movie. Oh, look, the DVD's broken. Oh, we'll watch it online. Oh, it's nowhere online despite the fact that it says it is.
Oh, it's okay. I'll go see if I can buy it off like our local second-hand store. And now it's really hard to find. Yeah,
that was Drag Me to Hell.
And
Was the one
stop
that we got
working halfway through.
And then we tried to find Species and couldn't find it fucking
No,
anywhere.
I found the 4-movie collection of it for like €3 and CX.
So at some point in the future, Drag Me to Hell and Species will be happening, but probably not next week.
No.
But we'll be back. We will always be back.
Yeah.
As ever, thanks for listening, guys. If you want, you can head back and listen to some of our previous episodes or our other podcast, Mono Rants the Boys. Or you can come and chat with us on Twitter at RantsMono, on Instagram at monorants_the_boys, or you can send your own rants to monorantspodcast@gmail.com. And we'll talk to y'all next week.
Bye-bye.